don't get people attention the second time, that's not it. Do it the third time. This year I find it very good is all the counselors has been very helpful. But sometimes the visionaries will help on this one. Like in Barclay when we were doing all this, and then everyone would follow. So I would say, don't rush into your announcement. Wait until everyone is quiet down. Because if you start your announcement and people are not paying attention to you, then you may start talking to a group paying attention to you. But if this group is talking, you know what will happen is that Dennis will be talking to this guy, and then Cooper will be talking to that guy. And then when the other people seeing these people are talking, you know what would they do? They will start their own small conversation, right? And once all these small conversations are starting, then who cares about what the announcer is announcing? So it's all conversations going on there, blah, 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 then I'm the announcer and I announce something. Nobody will pay attention to you. So one suggestion is, and which I find it very useful to me personally, is when you are doing something you want to get the attention of the people, do get the attention of the people first. Even if one of these guys is not giving you the attention, don't start rushing into the announcement. Now, the trick is, if you start doing it, and people perceive that, oh, you do your announcement anyway, without waiting for the other people are quiet down giving you the attention. Next time when you stand up to do something, to do another announcement, what will people perceive at you? They will say, okay, don't care about it, don't care about it. You don't want to get yourself into that situation, right? So I would suggest try that tip, which I find personally very useful to me. Don't speak, don't talk, don't announce until you feel everyone is giving you the attention. Make sense? Questions, comments? Again, these are some personal experience of mine. I'm not saying that these are the golden rules to follow, but it works for me, and I believe this probably may be helpful to you in handling situations similar. Okay. Now the other thing is, and I call this like it's a personal self-confidence, because if you don't rush into it, you show the people that at least you are prepared, and also you are telling yourself, if I'm going to make an announcement, if I'm going to get the attention of the crowd, I want to get their attention. I don't want wishy-washy. And talk to yourself, if I want to get the floor is mine. Now this is important because I don't know whether you've seen people announcing something, they just walk in, you rush. Our meeting is next Friday. Thank you. And then you walk out. Who is it? What are we doing next Friday? What's the time? What's the venue? Did you give out all the specifics, all the information? And the way that you do it, if you are not getting all the attention of the people, then they just look at you or you're just thinking of wishy-washy. Again, it's psychological. People will always come back and say, next time you do it, they will put some judgment on it. Right? So think about it. If you're going to do it wholeheartedly and say, tell yourself, I have the floor. What you do it. Get yourself prepared on your message. Simple, correct. Okay. That's how you prepare yourself. Okay? So when you do it, how to do it? Probably everybody knows how to do it. So I don't have to go into that. But simple things like make your point, and if you're running into trouble, for example, if you couldn't get the attention of the group yet, don't stop. But what about, say, if you are in the process of getting people quiet down, somehow this guy Dennis never quiets down. What happened? What do you do? If you get everybody almost quiet down, he's still talking, right? These two guys, it's troublemakers. Then I start thinking, these guys are troublemakers. Right? So I say, Dennis, can you stop talking? Yeah? No, it won't work. One thing I find working is, if you find that the little group is always talking, not paying attention, I typically would walk close to them. And then, may I have your attention, please? Quiet down, please. Now look at those people. It's natural. If they're talking, and then I walk close to them, they would notice that I am getting close to the problem. You know what would they do? They would notice this attention I'm giving to them. And chances are they would give attention to me. And when they look at me, they know when they stop. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do that is, like what I did at the beginning of this session for the state, but in a nice way. And I won't suggest you say, hey, stop. No. Call out. Hi, Alvin. Again, if he's talking to his little group over here. And if I just say, hi, Alvin, so what am I telling him? I'm giving him my attention. And you know, in return, what would he give? He would give me his attention too. And for that moment, he would talk. He would stop talking. He knows that I'm working on him, trying to get his attention. So you can always try that and say, by doing it very nicely, waving at that person, hey, Alvin, hi. That could work. Right? The other thing is, when you walk close, I mentioned about walking closely, then try to remember people's first name. This probably would help you if you do enough preparation work before you do any announcement or whatsoever. Because at the very beginning of the program, and I think as many of you have participated in the Mission Youth Bronze recruitment, I've been telling all those recruiters, the three important factors for the interview is friendliness, friendliness, friendliness. If you go out and make a friend with the Mission Youth, that certainly will help you to gain mutual understanding, mutual respect. How do you do that? How do you make friends with those people? I don't see Gary for a long time. I don't see him a lot, right? But simple thing is, if you can call people by their first name, that would help a lot. I would say I'm not doing a very good job in knowing everybody's first name, but I'm trying. But try to do it. If you can call somebody out by their first name, people will feel good. If you come to me and say, oh, this community member, hey, instead of somebody walk up and say, hey, Tim, I got a question. How would I feel? Probably I would feel better for the second case, right? At least somebody that I exist. Instead, I'm not a hey, I'm not a hello, I'm not a somebody. So these are something that you may want to consider. Go out and make friends with the leaders. Try to remember these people by first name. And so when you do this announcement and when you run into trouble, this is the time for you to make use of those good work that you have prepared yourself by saying that, hi, Cooper, how are you? Somebody will look back at you and try to get attention. Instead of saying, hey, you, or stop doing something. Right? So these are some of the tips here you may want to consider. And again, when you actually make that announcement, there's also always a point, consider the environment. I know that sometimes when we want to make an announcement, the environment may not be that favorable. I remember one time at Barclay that we have to make an announcement in the cafeteria, which is so noisy. Right? But remember that if you have to do something like that, if the environment is not that favorable, well, try to make it as quiet as possible. Or again, a better way is if time allows, you may want to consider choosing an environment more favorable. Because one example I've seen is